Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com. By Dunkin' Donuts, America runs on Dunkin'. By your New England Ford dealers. By Amica Insurance. And by K-Bear, your wings throughout New England.
Matinee action in our Toyota game break. Chicago at Winnipeg early in the second. Sharp in on the breakaway. Nice finishing move. Beats Andre Pavelec, his second goal of the season. Chicago takes a 3-1 lead. They go on to score 2 more goals. Want to win by a 5-1 final. Special night tonight in Vancouver. The Toronto Maple Leafs are visiting the Vancouver Canucks. Canucks will retire Pavel Bure's number 10. The highlight film for Pavel Bure's got to be a thing to see.
It's got to be phenomenal. He's got to have the kind of speed clues when he's coming down on you. As a defenseman, you had to say, oh boy, and make sure your gap against him was right on. This guy was special.
He was a tremendous speed, 60-goal seasons, spectacular player.
Pavel Bure having his number retired. We've got hockey action, Nassau Coliseum, Jack Edwards and Andy Brickley.
Thanks, gentlemen. A lot of Bruins fans here, and there has been yet another black and gold invasion on the road. Tonight's starting goal is brought to you by your local New England Audi dealers. Experience Audi Quattro all-wheel drive today. Chad Johnson gets a little bit of dust off his shoulders after having been on the shelf for about 10 days. Kevin Poulin at the other end. He's making just his 24th NHL appearance. This is just number 12 for Chad Johnson. The Islanders are a team that has lived in a little bit of adversity for most of the season. They have 5 wins. 4 of those have had to be comeback wins. They have given up a lot of goals. They have scored a bunch. They have not been held to fewer than 2 goals scored all season long. The game is on. The Bruins have a chance to tune it up a little, Brick.
Yeah, and we touched on it in the open. It's all about execution, and you want to be on the attack in the first period. A lot of energy, and take advantage of this competitive advantage that you have, given the schedule of both these 2 teams.
And an offside. Claude Julien saying that the Bruins have been okay this year. 8-4 is okay. Jack Capuano, who wants to see a really good physical start. He's mixed up his lines already, putting back Martin with Casey Cizikas and Cal Clutterbuck. Clutterbuck coming from Minnesota in a trade for Nino Niederreiter. And Clutterbuck is happily the blunt instrument out there. He will make contact any chance he gets. And following through pretty late on David Krejci there. Martin hammering it over to Andrew McDonald. He bounces it off the kick plate. Let's go Islanders, and sort of being drowned out by a Let's Go Bruins competition in the stands. This is offside in the face-off right in front of the Boston bench.
Yeah, a bit of a crash line for the Islanders to start the hockey game. Cizikas, he's their best face-off guy. That's an area the Bruins should dominate the Islanders. Bruins' abilities in the face-off are far superior to the Islanders, numbers-wise, certainly this year. But Cizikas in the middle. Matt Martin, all he does is hit. Clutterbuck, you know him as a hitter, but Martin hits more frequently. So a bit of a crash bang line.
A problem with the door on the Bruins bench. Keith Robinson is examining the hardware there. This arena has been in disrepair from time to time over the last few years. And can they get the door to close and lock? Andy McElvin, the linesman over there, and Denny LaRue wearing number 14, the referee. Bruins, of course, are in the Atlantic Division now. It's the division that the Islanders used to be in it, at least by name. And you see the standings here. Toronto off to an impressive start.
Yeah, 10 wins and 14 tries. The Bruins behind Toronto, Tampa, and Detroit. Much of that reason, haven't played as many games.
Yeah. Once again, the Bruins with a sluggish start in terms of the schedule. as Boston has games in hand on almost every team in the league. Kyle Okposo gives it over to Thomas Vanek. Bergeron loses his stick. We've seen 3 players lose sticks already in the first minute and 10. Here's Tavares' shot saved by Johnson. The rebound loose. And Johnson makes another save, this time on Matt Carpenter coming in from the point.
Bergeron does the right thing, that great forward back pressure. He attacks Vanek, but he loses his stick in the process. Now he can't make a play. He tries to kick it out of the defensive zone. That leads to the turnover. Tavares just throws a puck at goal. Not a bullet of a shot, but he's putting it in an area designed to get a rebound. Carpenter activates from the right point, jumps up on a rebound.
Soderberg with an aggressive move into the face-off circle to keep the puck from getting to Vanek. Ryan Spooner back to Dougie Hamilton, who's paired with Zdeno Chara. Johnny Boychuk not even making the trip. Matt Bartkowski will skate as one of the 6 defensemen tonight.
You know, when you put your lineup card together, you have Ryan Spooner as the center on this line with Kelly and Soderberg. Well, when you pay attention, you see a lot of face-offs, if that line's on the ice, in the defensive zone particularly. Kelly will be taking the draw.
Soderberg skating on the left side. There's Josh Bailey trying to muscle toward Chara's corner. Soderberg cuts him off. Hamilton absorbs the hit from Pierre-Marc Bouchard. Spooner tape to Soderberg with speed through the neutral zone, but the puck rolls off his stick. Radek Martinek, who just signed in late October with the Islanders. Frans Nielsen, who's on a tear. He's got 8 goals to lead the Isles. Couldn't get the puck to cooperate with him. Donovan keeps it in the zone. Tips it around deep. Nielsen in the corner. Runs into the back. Bartkowski check. Bouchard with the quick pivot through the seam. McDonald tees it up intentionally wide. Right back in front. Very lively boards. And Soderberg carefully gets the puck out. It's almost as if they've tuned them up here, Brick. And we didn't see too many players testing the ground rules, so to speak.
Yeah, this will be the first time this year that we bring that up. When you come to the morning skate, you're in a building that's, I guess it's almost like a relic. Yeah. You know, one of the oldest buildings in the league. Been around for a long time. They don't have the seamless glass. They have lively boards, particularly in certain areas. You know, you'd like to see some of the players, you know, Jim cross-corner dumps, wrap the puck around the boards, get it up on the glass. You know, see if there are any consistent, yet funny bounces, awkward bounces. Because we just saw one. McDonald with a good high drive from the left point, short side, came right back through the crease.
A couple of years ago, down by that illuminated sign on the far side of the Bruins defensive zone, we saw 3 pucks right about there actually come off the kick plate into the circle. Kyle Okposo tries to spin it middle. Pie against the skates in the way. Seidenberg tries to kick the puck loose through the corner. Vanek in there to jab at it. Sean Thornton had an open hand on Kyle Okposo, keeping him away from the puck, and they let it go. Campbell scoops it out to the neutral zone. It's off Vanek, rattles around, and Andrew McDonald has it. No rhythm yet in the neutral zone for the Bruins. Vanek over the line, holds the puck, wrists it into Seidenberg's leg. Seidenberg gets checked off by Vanek. Here's Okposo moving to the backhand, using the free arm to keep Krejci away. Shielding the puck and turning. Krejci locks down on him, wraps him up, takes him to the end board. Chara caves in. Peter Regan, who's out there. Lucic flying up ice, rips one, and it goes off the glass over the glove side. And Pullen was expecting the puck to come back in front of his own goal. The Isles know how lively it is here. Clutterbuck going cross ice through Chara. Michael Grabner absorbs the bump. Clutterbuck spins it middle, paddled away by Johnson. Hickey throws it off Grabner's legs, and it comes back to the Islanders' zone.
The Islanders coming out with as much energy as Boston right now, even though they had that long night last night. Shootout win, the travel, customs, everything that they had to deal with. But a lot of energy here in the first 3 or 4 shifts.
Between the legs pass from Riley Smith to Patrice Bergeron. Cross ice, Marchand had to wait for it. Now he comes it around through the corner. Pullen off the corner boards. It bounces to Martin. Cizikas has it in his skates. Can't kick to the stick. Gets a second chance and drills it in around behind Johnson. Islanders in the middle of a change. Adam McQuaid into Marchand's blades. Torrey Krug to McQuaid. skates it out of the Boston end. McQuaid to Smith. Pulling, scrapes it around. And here comes Nielsen with some speed. He's got Bouchard right. Bouchard holds, tries to backhand it into the middle. Too many sticks in the way. Carries into the slot. Still loose there. Bergeron trying to fish it out. And we get the whistle with Adam McQuaid down on top of the puck.
Nice little touch pass on the wraparound in the defensive zone by the Islanders. Josh Bailey, left-handed shot, just going to deflect this puck into the middle. Nielsen picks it up right in stride. Nielsen able to headman that puck to Marc Bouchard, stepping into that offensive zone. And even though the Bruins have numbers back, the puck continued to find the Islanders and to force McQuaid to have the fall on it, get the face-off. Prior shift, down low coverage. Krejci in a battle with Oposo. Regan there. Chara able to just knock him down. That frees the puck up. And the Bruins layers defensively able to walk out of the key zone.
Nielsen's career high for goals in a season is 17. He's got almost half that already. Donovan riding Kelly into the boards. Now here's Nielsen. Hits the brakes. Throws the puck too far forward for Bouchard. Bartkowski to Soderberg. Back to Bartkowski. Bartkowski looks off Josh Bailey, the forechecker. Seidenberg to Kelly, but the Bruins can't make a play and keep it in deep. Sporter's pressure gets the puck loose. But here's Bouchard skating it out. Marc Bouchard, very talented player, a little on the smaller side. He's missed more than 150 games due to concussions in his career. When he's healthy, he's pretty slick. McDonald with the 100-foot pass through Tavares' stick. Hamilton rattles around Oposo, knocking the puck loose. Hamilton back into the neutral zone. Krejci in traffic with Vanek and Oposo there. Now Zdeno Chara takes a little bit of space. Hard pass, and Dinla handles it nicely. It pinballs around. Krejci saucers to Hamilton. It goes wide. McDonald pries it out next to the post. Chara fakes the shot. Hard for Krejci. Chara goes middle slot and drive. Just wide. Dinla on the rebound. And the goal comes off its peg as Bullen went spread eagle forward and appeared to kick the post right out of its mooring. 13 and a half to go first period. Bruins and Islanders 0-0.
Our key matchup, brought to you by your Honda dealers, is a familiar face to the Bruins. Thomas Vanek is a two-time 40-goal scorer, but he's found some of his biggest success against the Bruins. In 50 games against Boston, Vanek has notched 29 goals and 28 assists. And Jack, those totals are Vanek's best against any NHL team.
Yeah, no surprise at all, Jamie. The question is Thomas Vanek going to be a better fit than Matt Moulson was? Because Matt Moulson was as good a fit with John Tavares as one could imagine. Both are going to be unrestricted free agents.
Yeah, that's what I was to say. A good fit, and for how long?
Chara whips the puck to Hamilton. Hamilton's wrist shot kicked out, juicy rebound, and Cizikas one-hands it forward to Brock Nelson. Brock Nelson, a couple of years at the University of North Dakota. He's from War Road, Minnesota, home of Dave Christian and the famous Christian hockey family. Here's Hamilton to Krejci, and a kick saved by Poland. Krejci put it in a tough place, and Poland got the right pad out.
Yeah, real good follow-up shift. There was a Krejci line just before the commercial. They finally had an offensive thrust, and here they go again.
McKinley to Krug, having trouble getting through Grabner and Hamonic. Regan. Lucic is in his way. Clutterbuck to Regan. He's got Grabner who can fly on the far side. Here's Grabner. He just turns and wheels it in. He'll go off for a change. Johnson into the corner, but Regan is waiting for the puck there. Krejci stabs at it. Regan shoves it over to Clutterbuck. McQuaid belts Clutterbuck, giving him some of his own medicine. Krug with an awkward stumble in the corner, but appears to be okay. Now Paille giving pressure to Thomas Hickey. He goes D-to-D to Matt Carpenter, the ex-Ottawa Senator. Short bounce off the boards for Grabner, who loops the backhand into Bartkowski's corner. Seidenberg draws, Grabner trickles in ahead for Campbell. Paille the short pass, Thornton into Paille's skates. Paille snaps it off the glass and it bounces down back to the goal. Campbell for Thornton, but it gets knocked away from him. Donovan, the defenseman, on the play. Campbell mucking for the puck on the end boards. Now Donovan has a little bit of space. Seidenberg to Bartkowski. Wheels away from Nielsen. Dennis Seidenberg past Sean Thornton. It bounces in front, and it's ruled icing.
Well, the Bruins make a number of real nice passes coming through the neutral zone to gain entry. McGinley able to find the jumping into the play. Dougie Hamilton, who started that play in the neutral zone and continued on a route to create a 2-on-1 coming across the line. David Krejci is able to get inside position on Martin on the back check. That quick release to try to be Poulin. Low stick. Poulin was able to get it with the right pad.
Martinek rifles the wrist shot wide on the stick side of Chad Johnson. Daniel Paille can't pull it out of the zone. There's Tavares going to work. The Islanders captain as the Bruins get a quick change. Tavares under the stick of Okposo, and it slides to Char.
The Tavares line earlier in the period going against the Bruins' fourth line.
Is Vanek off to Okposo. The shot saved Johnson. The rebound right up the slot. The Bruins get good numbers back. Riley Smith, nifty saucer pass to Bergeron state. He backhands the puck off the end boards. Marchand with speed, turning away from Donovan to Chara. The wrist shot up high. Bergeron, here's Chara. The stick is loose as Poulin couldn't control it. Riley Smith couldn't shove it inside the post. And we get a high stick ruled here. Face off in the Islanders zone. The puck played above the shoulder.
Well, Riley Smith with a wide open net just couldn't quite corral this puck. Bergeron just going to lay this puck in an area. Marchand gets, again, good position down low. Able to find Chara, that back diagonal. The lively boards, the rebound. Chara's trying to chop one up over Poulin. That puck ended up going towards Smith, standing at the top of the crease. Just disrupted enough to not be able to bang that puck into the net. Puck play with a high stick. That's why we got a face-off. Looking for Riley Smith and Brad Marchand to be difference makers a little more frequently than they've been to this point. If they're going to play with Bergeron, they certainly got to get better inside position, more scoring opportunities, because the Bruins are relying a little bit too much on that Krejci line for their offensive numbers.
Kelly takes the waist-high pass. Here's Soderberg, the shot. Saved by Poulin, and he squeezes the knees. But there's some of the speed that Ryan Spooner and Chris Kelly can bring. And when Carl Soderberg has a little space to maneuver, he's dangerous.
Yeah, and he gets the puck in a really good area for him. He's got a real good wrist shot. He comes a little bit late. Kelly's able to take people with him, and that opens up space in behind. That's a high slot. Soderberg can score a ton of goals from that area of the ice, but Poulin able to get a piece and not allow a rebound.
The rhythm of which Brick spoke before the game is starting to appear now.
Yeah, that's 3 shifts in a row.
And a lot of it's happening in the neutral zone where the Bruins are connecting on passes and flying into the attacking end to pressure Kevin Poulin. Andrew McDonald. Josh Bailey shortens the stick to knock it down for Bouchard. Now Nielsen taps it loose, but it comes back into the neutral zone. McGinley battling for every inch. Puck back to McDonald. D to Hamonic is a tough pass to Lucic and runs him over. And the Lucic chant from the Boston faithful. Hamonic tries to move inside. It comes off his stick to Bouchard. Bouchard over the line to Nielsen. Nielsen down to the half-court. Krejci puts the hip into him. McQuaid slides the puck over to Krug, who turns sharply and comes out of the Boston zone with a little bit of speed. Lucic, the hard pass off the boards. Hickey knocks it back into the neutral zone. That is a contentious crowd here. Let's go Bruins is the chance in Uniondale, and the Islanders fans don't like it. Thornton rings the iron, getting a one-timer off. Now Seidenberg bounces it, and Poulin gets it to bounce down in front of it. 9:22 to go in the first, and the tempo is increasing. We're nowhere near the Empire State Building, but we'll give you the gratuitous New York shot anyway.
A score first period, Bruins Islanders. The Bruins executing a quality breakout. Nice little backhand shovel pass by Lucic. David Krejci is going to carry this puck, try to generate some speed through center ice. But this is what you got to love about the Bruins attack. Again, against this pass, he's going to be nice and wide. David Krejci is going to get to the middle of the ice with that net drive, but it's Dougie Hamilton jumping into the play to create the 2-on-1 against Hickey. That's puck possession on the attack. Create something coming across that blue line when you activate your D, and they're quick and they're offensively talented. You can create some really good opportunities for yourself.
The synchronicity is starting to line up for the Bruins, but here comes Grabner to Regan, a 3-on-2. Clutterbuck jumping up on the right. Clutterbuck shot, and a save by Chad Johnson. Hickey tries to fire it middle. It's off Thornton's stick and takes a lively bounce off the end glass. Campbell locks up Grabner. He tosses it in deep. Thornton unopposed, wants to reverse it. It rattles around into Bartkowski's corner. He goes 1 against 2. Regan gets it back to Karkner up the wall. Now it's IA can't clear the zone. Karkner throws it past Regan. It rides the dasher and drops down for side.
Well, unlike the Bruins in that highlight we just showed you, where David Krejci gets a chance from the slot, 3-on-2 for the Islanders. The Bruins defend. They take away the middle of the ice. Clutterbuck has to take a shot from the outside.
Thornton in the corner as McDonald wraps him up and the referee. Marchand absorbs the hit from Hickey, doesn't cough up possession. Now it rattles loose. Pozo into Chara's skates. He wins the puck battle against John Tavares. Marchand cross corner. Smith trying to roll off Hamonic's check. Hamonic into Marchand, who showed good anticipation to get to the passing lane along the wall. Islanders turn the puck over again. Chara back after with Opozo on his back. Opozo takes it away to Tavares. He toe picks and goes down in the corner. Opozo loses possession with Bergeron on him. Marchand to Bergeron to Smith over the line with Hamilton nearby. Smith shielding the puck. McDonald takes a whack at him. Now he tries to set the edges. It's loose, but Bergeron's on the other side of the zone after supporting the pass on the near side on the way into the zone. Smith trying to shove Tavares around. Bergeron goes in to help out. Comes loose up the boards. Tavares backs in. Chara with the reach, and he overreached by a bit, and the puck sneaked under the heel of his blade.
Yeah, pretty good battles there. Smith one-on-one in the offensive zone, support by Bergeron, and you're going against the Tavares line. That's where you want to force them to play, in their own end.
Martin bumps Krug. Brock Nelson bounces the puck down into the corner. Krug having trouble with Martin there. Kelly to Krug in tight spaces. He taps the puck around to the near side. Casey Cizikas quickly on it. Cizikas turns, throws it right into Hamilton's stick. Hamilton off a body. Donovan controls it his own line. D to Radek Martinek, who fans on the pass with Kelly checking him. Spooner digs it loose but can't hold possession. Donovan off the board. Cizikas gets a piece of it forward to the red line. The Islanders change out as we click towards 6 minutes to go in the first. Adam McQuaid straight up the middle. Donovan locked up with a Ginla at the blue line. Bailey will win the race for the puck and never got across the goal line. McQuaid reaching out with one leg as he went in to check Bailey. Now Thomas Hickey comes off the boards, wrists it into the middle. Krejci knocks the puck down. Ginla forward for Lucic. Working against Donovan. McGinley has to bring the puck back to the neutral zone. McQuaid wires it in. Now Krejci, it's off his boot. It goes to Hickey. Throws it to the end boards, kind of coughing up the puck back there. Donovan rescues his D pair and goes to the corner with it. Finds Nielsen. Nielsen has Bailey streaking up the right side. Under Bailey's stick, he shoves it toward the back of the goal. Bouchard jousts there with Seidenberg. Krejci takes the puck. Lucic backing into Karkner, too big body. Josh Bailey strokes the puck in deep. The Islanders go for another change. Bartkowski overpowers Regan. Clutterbuck. Andrew McDonald to Grabner. Grabner speeds through the neutral zone, flies into the Boston end. Here's Karkner in front. Save Johnson. High rebound, and Thornton calmly gloves it down. Thornton takes the hit to bounce it forward. High skating onto it. Here's Gregory Campbell. They rule it was offside. A lot of bodies and the puck popping around, and Karkner's trying to rough up Campbell. He gives him a punch right in the face. 5:21 to go first period. It's still 0-0 on the island.
New York Islanders trying to get a odd man rush through the neutral zone. Clutterbuck on the right side trying to get up with the play. Nice little delay by Regan in the middle to allow a potential 3-on-2. But the Bruins do a nice job positionally, not only body-wise, but stick position. All Clutterbuck can do is take a shot from outside the dot. The Bruins pride themselves in having their goaltenders know where the shots are coming from. Johnson's able to read that play and be on a real good angle.
You know, the Bruins are on a run of 172 consecutive sellouts at TD Garden. Tickets are scarce. They're available, you know, but you got to be industrious, and sometimes you got to be a little bit lucky. Not so when the Bruins play on the island. There is an invasion from New England every single time the Bruins play here, and a lot of black and gold in the gallery once again. Tavares with Opozo on the right, Vanek on the left, Bergeron with Riley Smith on his right, and Brad Marchand on the left. Brick looking for a little bit more out of the wings who flank Bergeron. Bergeron does so much to complement any player with whom he skates. It would seem it's only fair if they bring it back in the other direction.
Absolutely, and they had an opportunity, they had great pressure. Smith had a chance, couldn't quite corral a puck with an empty net. Bergeron's made a couple of nice plays. Marchand's made a couple of nice plays. He does have 3 helpers, Marchand, in the last 6 games. But when you really take a look at it, where are the shots? Is he getting enough shots? Is he getting enough scoring chances? He's too good to be this quiet.
Travis Hamonic all the way across the neutral zone. Vanek just throws the puck in deep. Chara around the boards. It bounces to Hamonic. The wrist shot bounces in front. And Johnson clamps down with Thomas Vanek working for his 19th goal against the Bruins.
Yeah, not the best decision by Chara. He just wires this one around. There's 2 Islanders. There's a winger and a defenseman on that side of the ice. Puck gets by both wingers. Marchand on the left board just can't handle that wraparound. And drive from the right point has Tavares cruising back. He went around the net, comes back to the middle of the slot, knocks this puck down on a redirect. Johnson does a nice job of tracking.
A first and a second rounder going with Molson to Buffalo in the Vanek trade. The Islanders' style so far tonight almost reminds me of some of those midget games you see from time to time where it seems the players aren't even aware there's a puck out there. They just want to hit something. Go in and wreak some havoc. But it's keeping the Bruins from getting and maintaining an attacking rhythm.
Well, it's one of the best ways to get into a game when you play the night before. Hit or be hit.
Matt Donovan, pretty crafty player out at the left point. Sends it around through the corner. McQuaid taps it to Spooner. Spooner returns to Krug, who absorbs a big Cizikas hit. Fires the dart cross ice. McQuaid off of Kelly's stick, which was forward of the red line, so no icing. Spooner contesting against Martinek. Kelly bumps him. Barkowski's shot, the juicy rebound. Spooner the backhand and Poland gloves it. He'll take the faceoff in his end. The Cold Hard Facts brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Jack Capuano, second all time in Islanders history. 208 games coached and 89 wins. He's only 1,291 games and 651 wins behind Al Arbour. Not going to catch him this year.
Not to mention 4 cups for Al Arbour.
Oh, that. Krejci and Nielsen on the faceoff.
Chris Kelly was trying to get to that rebound on the quick release from the left point by Krug. He was locked up in a battle with Martina. Could have easily been an interference call. Spooner was the second layer, and a bouncing puck got a backhand swat at it. An easy stop for Poole.
Krejci gets his stick and Martinek skates. Martinek goes for a stumble, but on they go. Lucic battling with Bailey. Bailey wins the puck back. Barkowski carries into the attacking zone, pulls up top of the circle, rips it off the corner board so Lucic can take it near side. Hit Krejci. Krejci goes one way then the other on Nielsen, slides it off the apron of the goal. McGinley with a stick lift. Barkowski fakes the shot. Now around past McGinley. Seidenberg jumping down. He blows past Bouchard. The puck pops up in the air. Bouchard, a short pass. Donovan up but not out. Lucic on the rotation. The drive. And a save by Poole, and he got the glove on it, and it popped out of the webbing to the end board. Nielsen to Bailey, to Bouchard, short of the red line. He trickles it down Seidenberg's side, and the Isles get a full chance.
Nice read and react by Milan Lucic. Saw Seidenberg with the aggressive pinch down the wall. He rotates all the way back to the point.
Paille has it stop off his skate. It's Grabner closing, and he fires it 1.5 feet wide. Grabner has explosive acceleration. Thornton's stick gets popped 20 feet in the air. Regan trying to feed it middle. Paille for Thornton, who's still trying to fish his stick out of the ice fishing hole. And the puck goes up and out of play.
The Bruins trying to be aggressive with their 5-man attack in the offensive zone. There it's a cycle play or a forecheck. Seidenberg comes down the wall. Lucic, who's a left winger, and he recognizes I'm third man high. I got to rotate back to the blue line. Then the turnover by the Bruins, just outside their defensive blue line, allows Michael Grabner to attack. Nobody's going to catch him when he gets full flight. He tries to fake and sell far side glove and then change the angle of the stick to go short side high over the blocker. Pretty good position by Chad Johnson.
Red hot start, but Grabner has really cooled off of late. There's Grabner hustling to the puck and keeping it in the attacking zone. He finds Carpenter's drive. And a pretty good look for Chad Johnson.
Set play for the Bruins with a face-off win in their own zone, where Marchand, who's lined up as the right wing, he's just going to take off from the hash marks out into the neutral zone, looking for that hard wraparound coming. The Bruins just can't get enough on that wrap. Can't get it up to the neutral zone. Now the Islanders are at advantage because they have one more player in the offensive end, and Boston has to defend.
Clutterbuck can't get the backhand through. McQuaid off the glass. Kelly gains the line, switches with Soderberg. The wrist shot off Hickey's legs. Regan in the corner. Soderberg bangs him. Clutterbuck on the half boards. Krug pinches down. Soderberg trying to A-frame, and Hickey rams him right into the board. Soderberg withstands the hit. Now Clutterbuck over to help out. Gets it up off Krug's glove and out of play.
Make this year's holiday party unforgettable by hosting at a Bruins game. Holiday suite rental packages are now available, include food and beverage, a visit from Blades, or the Bruins Ice Girls, and more. To book your holiday suite now, call 617-624-1847 or visit bostonbruins.com.
Tavares, Vanek, and Oposo out there one more time for Jack Capuano's Islanders, who have outshot the Bruins 9-5 so far in this game. Bergeron tries to flick the backhand past Hamonic. Hamonic punches it up the wall. Now Oposo skating past Smith. Works against Chara, who holds his ground and bats it back to center. Hamonic one touches ahead to Tavares. A little shift of speed past Marchand. Chara sweeps the puck away. Oposo on the end wall. Chara trickles it toward the corner. Tavares wins it back to Vanek. Vanek dangling in the slot. Hamonic's one-timer well wide. Smith picks up the long rebound off the kick plate. Man, these boards are lively. Travis Hamonic to Andrew McDonald. Colin McDonald, PC product, not in action. Missing another game with a hip probably picked up in Nashville. Here's it, Gidlin. Off the right wing forward. 1 minute. In the final minute of the first period, a 0-0 game between the Bruins and Islanders. Gidlin tosses the puck to Krejci. Hamonic really working over Krejci, so he can't be comfortable with the puck. Vanek, the short pass off Cizikas' skates. He explodes toward the neutral zone. Lucic reaches around to tap the puck loose. Now Vanek wrists it, rattles around and hops over Johnson's stick with about half a minute to go in the period. Jerome McGinley chucks it off the boards. That's going to be icing as Donovan angles off Lucic. Now that's interesting because Milan Lucic had way more speed toward the puck. But I guess the blue skates were closer to the dot.
Yeah, Gillen just got a little too much on this. He was trying to lay that puck out in the neutral zone. Who is at that dot first? With their skate position, linesman felt the Islanders were.
Toronto hasn't won in Vancouver in like 6 GMs. So they're going to try tonight, and the boys will have some highlights of that coming up. It's moments away, and what should be an interesting second period. The Islanders have an outstanding offensive output in second periods. They're good at making adjustments, and the Bruins will have their hands full if they don't get one here in the final seconds. As we said, the Islanders are a very resilient team. They've come from behind to win 4 times already this season.
Well, a lot of one-goal games for these guys. Their record could be vastly different one way or the other, given the fact that they play a ton of close games. And I know the Islanders have outshot Boston at this point. But I'd put the chances at just about even.
Pretty close.
Maybe even in favor of Boston.
Here we go again with Chris Kelly taking the drop, although Ryan Spooner will be the center on this line. Andrew McDonald up the boards. Kelly along the wall. Cizikas not giving Kelly any space. McQuaid hard across the line. 5 seconds to go. Krug tries the diagonal, but Kelly had already made his move toward the post. And the horn sounds down the first.
Now the puck in his feet a little bit, Torrey Krug on that pass from McQuaid. Good battle by Kelly along the wall to maybe try to get something before the buzzer give the Islanders credit. They knew that they were going to have to weather the storm, as they speak, or as they say, just like the Bruins did at home against both San Jose and Anaheim. Found ways to win those games. That's what the Islanders are looking at right now for their game plan.
Well, Dale, Billy, and Gordon, getting into the playoffs was a big deal for the Islanders, and they're a team that really believes in themselves. They've brought plenty of scrap again tonight, Dale. Boston Bruins Hockey on NESN is brought to you by Subaru of New England, by Ace Ticket, by Toyota's official website for deals, buyatoyota.com, by the Massachusetts Health Connector, by your New England Audi dealers, and by TD Bank, America's most convenient bank. Alongside Andy Brickley with Jamie Erdahl at ice level and our NESN production crew, I'm Jack Edwards. Glad you could be with us as the Bruins and New York Islanders get set for the second period, tied 0-0. Bricky began the evening talking in part about the production that Patrice Bergeron's wings must put forth. Well, by line, using the center's names, the Bergeron line has a total of 0 shots on goal after one period. David Krejci has both of his line's shots. There was one shot by Ryan Spooner, one shot by Carl Soderberg off the Spooner line. The Campbell line has 0 shots on goal, although Thornton has a post. I would imagine the word's not good enough for coming to mind here.
Yeah, they were, the Bruins have talked about having better starts, more quality starts. They like the fact that they find ways to win hockey games, and they should be commended for that. But a first period can go a long way to helping you win games, and just not enough offensive production, enough offensive rhythm in that first period. The good news, nothing. And maybe the scoring chances were about even in that first period. You mentioned Thornton. We didn't really give him enough love, I guess would be the phrase. Able to jump on that rebound off the backboards, almost really from a dump in. He came off the bench. He was on the off-wing side. He ripped one short side. Off the crossbar, underneath too. Just barely stayed up. But conversely, last night, these Islanders, 57 shots on goal. Speaking of shots on goal by lines, the top 2 lines for Ottawa last night combined for 27 shots. I'm talking 6 guys.
That's a lot of rubber. And it's the Bergeron line that starts out the second period. First period summary being brought to you by your New England Ford dealer. Marchand on Bergeron's left, Riley Smith on his right, McQuaid and Chara are the defensive pair to start the second period. We saw Dougie Hamilton frequently paired with Chara in the first. Hickey brings it out right side. Kartner has trouble with Bergeron, who's right in his face. Marchand battles for the puck. Cizikas up but not out. Krug throws it into the middle. Kartner blocks it with the leg. Matt Martin, long diagonal off the shaft of the turning Clutterbuck. Krug locks up with Clutterbuck in the corner. Cizikas there in close support. Bergeron wins the puck battle. That's 2 for Bergeron in the first half minute of the second period. Can he get similar support? Here's Smith coming cross ice for Bergeron. His wings change out. Bergeron almost picks the corner, but Poulin makes the glove stop.
Yeah, Chara's just out there to start the period. The minute the Bruins got possession, got something going in the offensive end, he makes a quick change to get Krug on the ice. But you'll see a number of different combinations. If there's a face-off in the Bruins' defensive zone, they always try to have Chara on the ice regardless of partner. And of course, they try to discourage Tavares from starting the second period with his line by starting Bergeron and Chara on the ice for Boston.
It was an overtime game, but because Johnny Boychuk got injured last time out, Chara played 29 minutes. Iginla's long wrist shot through his screen, and Poulin gets a late view at it.
Yeah, everybody's numbers on the back end went up because Boychuk went down that second period. Seidenberg 25 plus, Dougie Hamilton 25 plus.
Yeah, about 6 minutes over his per game average.
Yeah, and Adam McQuaid was over 20.
Chara back to Hamilton. His drive save, juicy rebound, rattling around in the slot. Bouchard just arcs it out. Chara center circle for Lucic. Forehand backhand to Iginla, but he can't maintain possession. Chara with the quick up through Krejci. Let's go Islanders and let's go Bruins. The battling chance once again in Uniondale, New York. Jaromir Bouchard carefully out of his own end. Saucers the pass to Tavares. Tavares has Bailey going middle, and now Bailey and Seidenberg on the end boards. Krejci reaches for the puck, can't maintain possession. Here's Bouchard, the quick little shovel. Rather, Vanek, a quick little shovel. McGinley over the red line. Knocks the puck in deep. And it's Marchand pressuring the puck. The Bergeron line out there again. Bergeron swooping in, picking off the puck. Tries to tear his stick loose from Donovan. Bergeron increasing his energy mightily here to try to bring his team up a notch.
And after he creates the turnover, Marchand's open in the high slot, but Riley Smith's pass is in by his right skate, and they can't get a quality chance as a result.
We often, I should say, hear about shooters squeezing the stick. Can that happen when you're making a pass as well?
Yeah, I call it, my phraseology is just a little drag to your decision making, a little drag to just, that natural instinctual game that you play at this level. And if there's any kind of hesitation there because of self-doubt or whatever it might be, you just don't have the confidence where it needs to be, then you're going to be off in every area.
Chara tries to backhand it up the boards for Smith, hits a stanchion, the turnaround shot, Grabner, and Johnson makes a big save. There's those funky conditions once again in Uniondale. Smith, the long pass, Bergeron the reach to keep it from being icy.
Yeah, you got to pay attention all the time. Anything up on that glass, that puck could go anywhere.
Soderberg self-pass, now whips across corner. Donovan had to duck to get out of the way of that. Slips it to Regan, but Soderberg's right there for the steal. Now Kelly in deep. Donovan wraps him up with the stick arm around him. Going 1-on-3. Kelly trying to win this battle, and now Spooner over to help out. Soderberg gets into the act as well. The puck squirts into the circle. Grabner's passes behind Clutterbuck. He taps it off the boards to center. Seidenberg looking long up the middle. Karkner gets in the passing lane. Now Thomas Hickey. Wants a high pick of the LA Kings. Brock Nelson down into the corner. Bartkowski with the hit on Martin. Campbell runs into Martin, who gives him a high pop. Campbell returns the favor as they go to the far corner. Now Seidenberg flicks the puck into Karkner's legs as center. Cizikas back into his own zone. Hickey, the one-touch pass from Martin. He's got Brock Nelson breaking with him. Now Martin and Bartkowski. Martin to the cycling Cizikas. Bartkowski taps it loose. Hickey's one-timer, chest save. Johnson, the rebound loose in front. Still in the crease. Bartkowski plants Martin on top of Soderberg in a wild confrontation in front. Seidenberg taps the stick back to Chad Johnson as Hickey keeps the puck in at the point. Nelson's wrist shot goes off these end boards off the skate. Cizikas indirect for Karkner backing to the line. Karkner flicks the puck up the board. Cizikas on his off wing turns to the middle through Seidenberg. Soderberg clears the zone.
Well, the Islanders getting the better of the battle of the fourth lines. Great puck possession, good effort by their crash line, spending a ton of time on this shift in the Bruins' end.
Seidenberg off Bergeron and in deep. Andrew McDonald, the shift and up to the center circle. Bouchard to the flying Tavares. The drive upstairs on Johnson. And he'll hold it for the face-off in the Boston end.
Well, the Islanders doing a real nice job winning battles, having good body position, and then getting pucks and bodies to the net. Doesn't have to be pretty. It's all about effort and results. Johnson does a nice job of tracking this puck. All he can do is take that one high off the chest protector. Couldn't really angle that puck away from the front of the net on that rebound because of the position of the shot.
Chara with the huge reach around through the corner to Bergeron. Bailey coming across ice to pick it off. Chara one-hands it to Smith. Smith to Marchand in a seam. The wrist shot and a glove save by Kevin Poulin.
Eastern Bank invites you to support Toys for Tots this holiday season by dropping off a new unwrapped toy at any Eastern Bank location before December 14th, or simply donate online by going to easternbank.com/toysfortot.
Well, there's that acceleration you want from Marchand.
Yeah, no question about it, Jack. I think that's one of those things that you look for when Marchand's playing his game and feeling the confident sense that I can make things happen and make plays. It's the footwork, it's the speed, it's that explosion, it's that separation that allows him to create shots for himself and make plays for his linemen.
McDonald hoists the backhand off the glass. Deflects to center. Krug makes a nice cross-ice pass. Marchand has to try to settle the wiggling puck, and it's ruled offside. Brad Marchand has 1 goal, 3 assists in the 12 games he has played for the Bruins this season.
They played him on both wings, Jack. They had him on the right side. Now he's back on the left side. They move Smith now over to the off wing to try and find a little bit more comfort level for both players playing with Bergeron.
Bergeron pops the puck loose. Here's Marchand trying to feed it back, and Tavares reads it well. Vanek through the center circle. Martinek whacks the puck around. It's off a skate into the middle. Chara settles it. Krejci deflects the puck to his stick blade. Dangles it into the slot. Could not connect with Riley Smith, who was finishing his shift. Martinek as the Bruins change out. Lucic lines him up, and Martinek just throws it forward. Here's Okposo. Okposo working with Tavares middle. It's off Hamilton's skate. Vanek chops out and it scores! Thomas Vanek is magic against the Bruins. He scores his first as an Islander.
Well, I'm not sure if Vanek scores this goal if it's Tavares on the opposite side. That puck rode up the blocker of Johnson, went in behind him, but I don't know if it crossed the line until 91 and Blue chops away at it. But the Bruins are back. They got 4 bodies protecting the front of the net. David Krejci never saw Vanek. Came from the blind side. And he's going to chop at this puck away, and now it's a shot on goal. I think this is going to be Tavares' goal, Jeff.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good call. John Tavares. Well, that's exactly the way the thumbnail sketch works on the guy. He goes to the dirty areas. He's got a bring your lunch bucket to work mentality about him. But he's got unbelievable hands. And he took that puck with the shaft of the stick in midair and buried it. He's going to bounce down on the line. You don't get unselfish in a situation like that. You make sure it's in the back of the goal. Jerome McKinley winds up. It's off Andrew McDonald's stick. So the Islanders in the rare position of being able to play with the lead mid-second period. There's Adam McQuaid. Wrists it all the way in on Pullen, who has a good view of it. John Tavares, the captain of the Islanders. And he puts them ahead.
1-0 New York Islanders on top of the Boston Bruins. Early second period. John Tavares is going to be the goal scorer. Good bounce to Okposo in the neutral zone. Good effort by Jerome McGinley to prevent a 2-on-1. Busting back, takes away the middle of the ice. He's shoulder to shoulder with Tavares. And then the puck goes below the goal line. And because the Bruins have numbers, McGinley's just going to release and try to get into his position as the Bruins defend in their own end. Now Tavares is open when that puck gets chopped away from David Krejci by Thomas Vanek. Tavares is uncovered off that far post. He's able to pick one out of midair. Give the Islanders the lead.
Krejci, Lucic, and McGinley. Donald wraps up McGinley. Seidenberg pokes the puck loose. It's Josh Bailey now. He flips the backhand. Now Bartkowski's side. Seidenberg off the end boards indirect for Bartkowski. Now Lucic Hamonic steals it, but Bartkowski's there. Seidenberg whips the pass to Krejci. He holds it, comes back through the seam to Bartkowski. The return to Krejci. Bartkowski draws Josh Bailey, sends it indirect in behind Pullen, who plays it. Bouchard, the touch pass. Nielsen for Hamonic, jumping up on the play. Here's Bailey holding at the line. Hamonic, the defenseman, forward to the goal line, up the slot. Here's Bouchard's backhand saved by Johnson. Loose all the way back to Cartner. Now it's Regan who's rotated back. It comes off the stick of Krejci, and Johnson makes another save with Bouchard on the doorstep. Bartkowski's backhand. Hickey's one-timer goes wide. The Islanders bringing great energy here. Lucic hammering Cartner, and the boards sway under the force of that blow. Now it's Peter Regan. Hickey along the line. Bouchard turns and fires. Saved by Johnson. And he drops to his knees to gather it in. The Islanders finding their rhythm and keeping the Bruins penned into their own end.
Well, it all started with a quality breakout by the Islanders and activating their weak side defenseman. It was Hamonic that jumped into the play. Now they get something going offensively. They're able to complete a line change, certainly on the back end. Carkner comes out, replaces Hamonic. All the while, a good rotation in the offensive zone by the Islanders with an idea of creating 2-on-1s, short passes, and getting the puck to the net.
Regan through the legs to Clutterbuck. Chara eliminates him, and Bergeron picks off the puck. Parker's pass, a double deflection. Clutterbuck rolls it to McQuaid's corner. McQuaid to Chara. He turns, comes up the middle to Bergeron, making himself available. Got clocked on Clutterbuck's hit, but he took the hit to move the puck forward. Kelly in the corner against Hickey. Parker there in support. Soderberg gets physical. Hamilton takes the turnover. The Bruins have to wait to clear the zone. Krug takes Clutterbuck's high hit and dumps it into the corner. Now Krug tries to lift Clutterbuck's stick. The puck dies in front of the penalty box.
You know, I mentioned that breakout by the Islanders, usually that weak side defense, but I think that's something the Bruins could do more of themselves on their breakout.
Clutterbuck's shot out of Johnson's glove. Vanek into the slot off Kelly's stick. Martinek bats it high. It's off Kelly's glove. Here comes Ryan Spooner. Quick couple of steps, gets to the red line, dumps it in. The Bruins get a change. Marchand pressuring the puck. Tavares through Bergeron, but there's Marchand on the angle. Chara, the quick up for Bergeron. Bergeron gets his skates caught up with Martinek. Vanek holding forward to the red line, finds Tavares. Tavares closes, it's off the stick of Chara, and Johnson gets a piece of it. Riley Smith end-to-end, they go 3-on-3 here. Saucers it to Marchand. The diving stab by Donovan to keep the puck from getting into the middle. Smith continues the battle against Martinek. To Marchand, back to Seidenberg. Bergeron, the high slot tip. Smith off the paddle of Poulin. Marchand couldn't get much on the shot. Bergeron trying to change the game right here. Wrists it through the slot and it hops past Marchand. Chara gets caught on the wrong side of the puck. But Tavares has passed way too far forward. Johnson, high slot, challenging Vanek. There's Marchand. His shot saved by Poulin. How's your entertainment factor now? End-to-end in Uniondale, New York. The Islanders lead it 1-0 mid-second. Good stuff. Love Chara barking at Soderberg. No, not here. Get out there. And he ends up scoring a goal. Thornton comes off the boards. The blast. I think it hit Hickey before it got to Poulin. And now Campbell messing around with Carkner down in the corner. They've had it going since the first period. And Britt, talk about having an answering shift. The last time the Campbell line was out, they had it taken to them right in front of Chad Johnson.
Yeah, that's a good point, because when those three players get on the bench, they say, hey, not again, especially if we get out there against their crash line. We got to be better than that. Bruins do a nice job off a face-off here on this shift as the conversation between Campbell and Carkner continues. But they win the face-off, and Thornton comes off the off wing. And I think you're right, Jack. Hickey was turning to pick up Paille, I believe it was. And as he turns, he's got his back to the shot by Thornton. It's deflected off him.
Poulin looks really uncertain because he thought he was going to feel the puck hit him, and all of a sudden it wasn't there. Paille taking the face-off. Thornton actively into the circle. Thornton right in front. Poulin paddles it away. Here's Bartkowski. Around the board. Paille cycling with Thornton. The hard pass into Bartkowski's skates. He gets his legs tangled up with Nielsen, so there's no breakout there. But here's a 2-on-1. Hickey closes. The shot misses wide stick side. The Bruins can't turn it into transition. A good read by Nielsen.
There's two 2-on-1s against the Bruins here in the last couple of minutes.
Bouchard over the line to Nielsen. Nielsen cross ice. Paille's back check denies Bailey the chance. Thornton saucers it over to Campbell, the long extension so he can control the puck. It's the end of the shift anyway, and they'll be offside, so that'll stop the play.
Well, Campbell's back protecting because Bartkowski was thinking offense, but it was a pass at his feet from Thornton. So now Campbell rotates back. He's in position, has a chance to make a play in center ice, but he has his pocket picked, and that leads to the 2-on-1 with Hickey jumping into the play of the defenseman. Bruins take away the 2-on-1 pass, so Hickey lets a shot go stick side, but this is wide. Shots on goal are 18 for the Islanders, 11 for the Bruins.
Krejci wins the faceoff cleanly back to McQuaid, who hammers it into the right wing corner, bounces across to Lucic. Muscles Hamonic out of the way. McQuaid taps to Krug. He loses the puck for a moment. Krejci going 1 against 2 has to come back to center. Torrey Krug taps the backhand over to Adam McQuaid. D to D. Krug a couple of quick steps to draw 2 forecheckers. The pass to Lucic. Now to Krejci with a Ginla going middle. Cross ice Krug all the way up on the right wing. Throws it to the post. Andrew McDonald goes tape to Grabner. Flips it end over end. Krejci gloves it down. The quick up for Ginla. Now to Lucic over the line. Lucic bumps with Regan. Hamonic stabs it loose. It's Krejci to Ginla. Holding. Dangling against McDonald. Slips to Lucic. Getting decked by Hamonic. And the shot goes wide. Lucic a little off balance. And Hamonic got him just above the center of gravity and flipped it. Grabner's pass goes off a stick all the way through. Tavares far side. Chara wins the puck battle and angles it out.
Lucic's looking for a penalty. Thought he was tripped in that instance when Ginla tried to find him just off that near post.
Tavares can't get the puck to sit flat. Goes through the legs. Donovan's shot. Shoulder saved by Johnson. The Islanders with plenty of juice, even though they played late last night in Ottawa and had to fly and clear customs and the whole lot. Kyle Okposo out by the blue line. John Tavares in the corner. Chara locking down on his stick. It's off Spooner to Kelly, but the Islanders still keep their legs moving and the puck won't cooperate with Boston. Soderberg up to the line. Spooner nudging it toward Kelly, but Martinez keeps that from happening. Okposo curl and drag, circus move, and Chara plays the body. Not a lot of pucks score without the players helping him across the line, and Chara took the body all the way.
Well, the Island is on attack mode here in the second period. Another outnumbered rush to the neutral zone. Soderberg learning to play the wing at the National Hockey League level. And a centerman over in Europe would like to probably play center, but not with the depth the Bruins have down the middle. And if he's going to be in the lineup, chances are he's going to have to play the wing. And there's a process that goes on to learn to play the wing position at the NHL level, and that's what he's dealing with.
A hockey bulletin for you. Dale Arnold and the boys will have Phil Kessel's second career fight. And it is going to come against none other than the sweet, darling Alex Burrows. Who is held so closely to the hearts of all New England hockey fans. Alex Burrows and his finger will fight Phil Kessel at intermission, and you'll see it on desk. Bergeron wins the faceoff straight back from Tavares. And we'll have a redrop. Marchand will take it as the Bruins had a violation on the faceoff. Vanek slides it to Hamonic, the defenseman, to Okposo cycling across the dock. McDonald's one-timer scores! Andrew McDonald through a screen right off the blue line. It's 2-0 Islanders.
Now, this is a big call that's going to go against the Bruins by a linesman. Bergeron originally taking the draw, won it clean for Boston. The linesman felt that there was an infraction, so now Marchand's going to take the draw, and that allows the Islanders possession off this faceoff. We talked about the Bruins being a better team in the faceoff dot than the Islanders. Well, the numbers are just different tonight. The Islanders doing a pretty good job in the faceoff circle, and they're going to score a goal because they win a draw. And once again, they really activate their D in the offensive zone. You had Hamonic down deep in a rotation with Vanek, and then McDonald's open at the point for a back foot one-timer from 65 feet that had eyes.
That hockey maven Sir Isaac Newton had it right. The body in motion tends to stay in motion. The Islanders sometimes a little bit scatterbrained, but they have been in motion one direction or another all night long.
Well, the Bruins are going to get a power play to see if they can try to turn a little of momentum in this hockey game right now. McQuaid's trying to step around Brock Nelson, try to make a breakout play off the wall, and it looked like Nelson grabbed or held on to the stick of McQuaid. He's going to go to the box.
Too much for holding the stick.
Get a look at it. Right corner of the rink. There's the stick grab. McQuaid not allowed to make a play on that puck when it was free in the defensive zone. Good call. Bruins got a key power play goal the other night against Anaheim late in the hockey game. Chara from Krug, then Krejci. And again, Jack, we emphasized when you score your power play goals. You're in trouble right now, 2-0. Under 7 minutes to go in the second period. You'd like to have a quality power play right now and a productive one.
Bruins 0 for 4 when down by 2 with a power play. So, Torrey Krug is drawing McGinley out high. Hamonic steals, can't clear the zone. Krug goes in direct. Krejci, the quick pass for Lucic. Pumps it back to Krejci, to Krug on the rotation. Krejci to Krug, a little bit of space. The wrist pass to Lucic. The shot saved by Kevin Poulin. Hamonic lines one off the ref and it dies for Iginla. Krug hits the brakes. Iginla nearby. Chara going down to the corner. Iginla's shot off Hamonic's stick and it ramps up and out of play.
Well, nice job by Milan Lucic when the Bruins didn't really have great possession. They had possession, but Lucic gets into that high triangle. Becomes an outlet. It's a possession play. Krejci to Lucic, back to Krejci. Now you got Krug in the middle of the offensive blue line. That's what it's designed to do.
Stalemate off the face-off. Krejci taps across to Krug, and he fumbles it out into the neutral zone. The puck got up on edge. Lucic back into the zone. Iginla going 1 against 2. Chara over to help out. And the puck squirts into the center circle. Krejci angling off Cizikas. Krug, Lucic. Krejci with Chara out of the half board. Chara holds the puck and swivels it back. Krejci facing Cizikas. Cross ice. Krug drawing Matt Martin. Krejci's one-timer knocked down in front. Hamonic the dart to Cizikas, who catches it nicely and then flicks the puck to the corner. Krug bangs against Matt Martin. Krejci comes away with the puck. Iginla. Krug has Spooner on the right, Soderberg on the left. Nielsen sends Grabner ahead. Dangerous on the shorthand. He dinks, and the puck wobbles. Now Bergeron tries to make him pay. Ahead to Soderberg. He's got Spooner on the left. 3-on-3 up ice. Spooner quickly to the corner. Banks it to Smith. Smith across to Hamilton into the slot. Off Bergeron's skate. Now it's Hamilton holding in the corner. Spooner. Back to Hamilton with Bergeron, the slot man. Smith at the left point. Gets the pass from Spooner. Cross ice Hamilton for Soderberg. He scores! Dougie Hamilton throwing the puck into the middle. It might have just gone off a defender. Soderberg was posted up, but the Bruins have a timely power play goal to cut it to 2-1.
Well, regardless of how this goes in, that's puck movement by the second power play unit. Well done. But the sequence starts with Grabner short-handed breakaway. The Bruins trying to complete a line change, but they don't carry the puck deep enough into the offensive zone. Grabner can't get that puck to settle down. Johnson stays with him. But this is great puck movement. Everybody involved, everybody getting a touch. Hamilton very active with his mobility in the offensive zone. He's a real good power play guy, and he's going to get better. Just 19, 20 years old. And good vision. And Soderberg's a strong man. Good size. Able to stand his ground right at the top of the crease. Whether he gets credit for the goal or not, that's a quality power play goal on a unit really. I think it was still a power play goal, was it not, Jack?
Yeah.
It was late in the power play, certainly, because the first group was on the ice for about 1:20.
There's 3 seconds left in the man advantage when the Bruins score. Hamilton turns the stick. He's got Marchand ahead, Paille nearby. Kelly coming late. Marchand darts to the middle of the puck, bouncing around. Hamilton swoops it just wide. There's Paille on the doorstep taking Kelly's feed. Kyle Okposo has Vanek on the far side against Chara. To Vanek, he scores! Thomas Vanek, his first as an Islander. 500th point of Vanek's career, a goal and an assist tonight.
Well, just not enough awareness with Dougie Hamilton all over that offensive zone. The Bruins need a third forward or a forward. At least thinking a little bit of defense. Third 2-on-1 this period, maybe fourth. A Grabner breakaway. That's a little too loose for the Bruins to be playing their style of hockey, and the Islanders take advantage. You cannot allow Vanek to be involved in a 2-on-1. Great pass by Oposo to sell the shot and then make that cross-ice pass for a one-timer.
59 points in 51 games against the Bruins lifetime for Thomas Vanek. Bartkowski to Lucic. Takes the hit from Carter to throw it deep. The Islanders came from 2 down twice last night to win in Ottawa in a shootout. The Bruins find themselves down 2 for the second time tonight. The goals coming just 41 seconds apart. Iginla cutting into the zone. Let's go Islanders, now the louder of the chants in the well-populated stand. Here's Clutterbuck behind Seidenberg, off Seidenberg, and Johnson sweeps the puck to the corner. Seidenberg to Bartkowski. The rhythm of which you spoke in the pregame simply hasn't been there. Shift in, shift out for the Bruins, and part of that is the frenetic physical tempo with which the Islanders have played. Grabner finds Martinek in the seam, is rocking up high, goes off glass. High, Grabner all the way back to pick that off. Now Martinek floats it, cross ice. Seidenberg, it's a delayed offside call. The face-off out of the red line.
Almost looks like they're taking it all the way down.
All the way back.
That definitely wasn't icing. The puck didn't get across the goal line. Love that pass by Oposo. Convinces Chara that he's going to take that good, hard, right-handed wrist shot. And at the last second, he's able to change it and slide it across. And Vanek is well-positioned. Not too far ahead of the plate, not too far behind. Right where a goal scorer usually is, in the proper position in the offensive zone.
Krug up the boards. The puck trickles past Thornton. Now Nielsen wheels it back of his own goal. Donovan rolls the puck the length of the ice. Krug on it. Apparently was close enough in the neighborhood that it negated any icing. Here's Andrew McDonald at the left point. Nielsen pokes the puck through. It bounces all the way to Josh Bailey. Paille flicks it. McDonald takes it right back in the final 2 minutes of the second period. Chad Johnson plays the puck past Torrey Krug. It comes to Pierre-Marc Bouchard. All the way back at the blue line. Hamonic drills it in behind Johnson. Krug has Riley Smith on his left. Up at the attack line, Marchand waiting with Bergeron nearby. Marchand's wrist shot is well wide on the stick side of Poulin. Tavares chips past Chara. Smith wing to Marchand. Marchand trying to go around. Hamonic does. Marchand past Bergeron. Tavares. The touch pass on the backhand for Vanek. Wheels the blind pass for Oposo, who flies to the corner. Hamilton locks up. Hamilton goes down. And who's going to get the penalty here?
I think it's Hamilton.
Yeah, Hamilton might go for holding. Vanek taps it lower. Will be Hamilton. Smith with possession in the final minute now. And referee Denny LaRue with the signal. Dougie Hamilton for holding. Carl Soderberg getting credit for the goal. And then Thomas Vanek answers.
Boston 27, minor penalty, holding.
There's defenseman Dougie Hamilton in the box for a hold. Did a pretty good job. It took a decent angle in trying to win that one-on-one battle with Oposo, but the free arm, the right hand, just wrapped around Oposo enough to get the holding call.
From the Lexington Power and Light, New York Islanders Power.
Chara skitters the puck all the way down behind Kevin Poulin. Andrew McDonald has Kyle Oposo, Franz Nielsen, John Tavares, and this man Thomas Vanek on the ice with him. Oposo along the line. Nielsen holds Kelly and McQuaid on that side of the ice. Nielsen with Oposo in the slot. McDonald fakes the shot with Kelly facing him. McDonald tosses the saucer pass. Nielsen working at the hash marks. Closing seconds here. Tavares risks it back to McDonald. 10 seconds to go. He risks it into Kelly's legs, back out to center.
Outstanding job by Kelly. Stick position, but more importantly, body position on McDonald.
Nielsen, Coxon passes to Opozo. Johnson makes the save in the final second. And the teams will go to the room with the Islanders up 2 after 40 minutes.
Well, we'll get a chance to talk with one of the assistant coaches, and believe me, the question has got to be 3 or 4 2-on-1s and a breakaway shorthanded in that period. Bruins got to do a better job of their recognition and awareness.
Dale, earlier today, Claude Julien told the gathered media that the Bruins were okay. So far tonight, not okay.
11 Bruins players are participating in Movember, the month-long initiative where ridiculous mustaches bring awareness to men's health. And if you're one of those people who can't grow facial hair, you should find yourself one of these mustache necklaces, because that's how I'll be showing my support. But you can also go to bostonbruins.com/Movember to track the progress of the Bruins mustaches and also to donate to some of your favorite growing Bruins players.
Jamie, thank you. Alongside Andy Brickley with Jamie Erdahl at Ice Level and our NESN production crew, I'm Jack Edwards. We're coming your way from the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York. The Islanders have a 3-1 lead on the Bruins, and they will have a power play to begin the third period. The road ahead brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. After this game, the Bruins come back to TD Garden to begin a season-long 5-game homestand, and they would like to carry a little bit of momentum into that, but they're in a position, unless they stage a comeback here in the third, that they will have lost 3 out of 4. Now, there are many things that we do really like about this building. The proximity to the ice, the intimacy of the crowd. One of the things we're not so crazy about is the Gremlins, and unfortunately we experienced some significant technical issues between periods, and Brick was not able to converse with a Bruins assistant coach. Too bad, because plenty to talk about. So, Brick, put on your mind reader's cap and tell me what was said among the players in the room.
I think they were just challenged to be better across the board, each and every individual and as a team. A little bit better awareness from your forwards as far as what's happening out the neutral zone. How the Islanders have activated their D, whether it's on breakouts or jumping into the play in center ice. I think the Bruins can certainly be better there. Just decision-making from their defensemen. And just a greater effort all the way around. If you think you still have a chance to take points out of it, that's how you want to play.
Marchand blasts down McDonald, who's got a bee under his bonnet. He's hacking away at Marchand's ankles. The Bruins needed that because they have not played that way all night long.
Yeah, and they've allowed the Tavares line to be, the best line in the building tonight. All 3 goals.
Nielsen to Opozo on the power play. Daniel Paille trying to keep the puck over on the perimeter. Chara goes over and mugs Opozo. McQuaid getting physical in the corner, but McDonald keeps the puck in. Chara wiggles it all the way out. Looking up toward 20 seconds remaining on the power play, and McQuaid takes it and whips the puck the length of the ice.
Yeah, Paille can just handle that nice little feed from Chara. That's a 2-on-1, short-handed, he and Campbell.
McDonald carefully out of his own end. Onto the backhand of Peter Regan, the shot off of Bartkowski's stick. Seidenberg shoves the puck forward, and the penalty expires. Dougie Hamilton comes out of the box. 0 shots on goal during the power play. Hamilton, incidentally, has been credited with the Boston goal, originally credited to Soderberg. Iginla for Krejci, but the puck hops over his backhand. Cal Clutterbuck rips it around through the corner out to the line. Bartkowski bats it in deep. It's a delayed offside, so Krejci tags up, and now he forechecks. Donovan all the way in on Chad Johnson. Krug absorbs a hit from Martin to get the puck to Lucic. Lucic off Cizikas' stick, and it loops off the dash. It bounces down to the corner. Iginla wins the stick battle against Hickey. Trickles it to Krejci. Rips it back to McQuaid. The snapshot knocked down off Hickey's chest. And Cizikas hops on the loose puck. The long pass to the attacking line for Martin. McQuaid gives him a bang. Martin comes out far side with the puck, stumbles in the pivot, sends it in low for Nelson. McQuaid wins that puck battle. Krejci loops the puck to center. Hickey turns, looks to Nelson in the crease. Nelson all the way in, and Krug hooked it.
Well, this is what we're talking about, Jack. Just the awareness of what's going on, particularly in the neutral zone. Just a little quick up. Finds Brock Nelson all by himself. Separation from Krug in the middle. Right in the middle of the ice. All Krug can do is some stick work to prevent Nelson from doing anything other than trying to funnel a shot towards the goal. He'll go for a hook.
Shot into Nielsen's legs. McDonald dives to get the puck in. Here's Tavares' blast off Seidenberg. And now Marchand comes up ice 2-on-2 with Bergeron on the shorthand. Marchand bounces the pass for Bergeron. He whips it middle off Nielsen's stick. And Tavares goes for hooking. It'll be 4-on-4. And Tavares is hot about that. But Brad Marchand has found some energy in the first 3 minutes of this third period, the likes of which we haven't seen in a while.
Well, it starts with a shot block by Dennis Seidenberg against Tavares. And Marchand comes sweeping in to pick up the loose puck after the shot block, and he pulls it to the backhand and tries to start getting something going offensively. Tavares is just going to reach in with the stick, one hand on it. And in the eyes of the official, that's worthy for a penalty, worthy of a penalty. And you can understand Tavares arguing.
So a couple of kids up front, Ryan Spooner and Riley Smith. Zdeno Chara and Dougie Hamilton with the big shots will be the defensemen. An extra 2 for Tavares for barking. Hamonic locked up with Spooner. Regan drops the puck off to Hamonic. Hamonic rolls the puck in past the goal line. Hamilton goes right through Regan, but there's Bradford bringing it back to the point. Hamonic trying to get around Spooner. The wrist shot bounced down off Chara in front. Hamilton feeds it forward. Spooner, Bradford reaches around and taps the puck away. Now Smith down the boards for Spooner. Bradford goes in, wins it for Hamonic to McDonald. Bjork Bouchard. Kelly takes a poke at him. Donovan takes the return pass from McDonald. Donovan, a stutter step, gains the line. Bouchard has Vanek. Vanek shot misses wide on the glove side. Martinez chops the puck down into the corner. Barkowski seals off Vanek. I'll get it out. Soderberg far side against Martinez. Soderberg pivots, comes to the middle. Kelly back of the goal. Indirect for Barkowski. Pulls it off in the backhand. Here's to Kelly rotating high. Now Soderberg. It looks like a big spinning wagon wheel out there. Seidenberg shielding the puck from Vanek. The hard backhand pass to Barkowski. To Seidenberg. To Kelly. To Seidenberg. The shot saved by Poulin as Krug exits the box. What movement.
Well, the Islanders are in man-on-man coverage in this 4-on-4 situation. The Bruins recognize that. They try to spread the offensive zone and then attack and try to create a 2-on-1 in that man-on-man coverage, and they're able to do it. A simple give and go out high. The pass back to Seidenberg goes a little bit in by the skates. We've seen a number of that tonight. We talked about the importance of execution. If that passes in a better area, maybe he gets a better shot.
Milan Lucic with the quick turn. Matt Martin trying to get back in the play. Lucic to Iginla. Martin goes over, gives Iginla a bump. Now it's Krug to Krejci on the power play. Krug's blast, save, rebound, loose in front. Lucic takes a whack. McDonald bounces it out to center. Hamonic can't one-hand the puck out of the zone. The long reach for Iginla, steps in front. Here's Krug. He dangles Chara just wide. Hamonic. The goal without his stick. Pullen had lost it in the exchange in front. Krug to Iginla to drive, and it goes wide on the stick hand side. And now Pullen finds his stick. Iginla low for Krug. Chara stacked up in front. Iginla's rocket, and that goes off Martin's skate to the corner boards. Minute and 15 to go on the Boston power play. Krejci keeps the puck on the line. Iginla to Krejci, winding up for the one-timer. It's wide. The hot bounce off the boards. Krug fights it middle. Chara sprays it to the far wall. Chara unloads on Hamonic. McDonald scales it the length of the rink.
Now the Bruins got a number of looks that they liked with that first power play unit. Krug had a good look. Iginla had a good look. Krejci on a one-timer.
Smith to Bergeron over the line. The shot saved. Pulling the rebound into the circle. Hamilton dives, but the puck hops over his stick.
Chara had a chance on the forehand, just missed on the short side.
Half a minute to go in the Boston power play. Riley Smith over the center circle. Here's Bergeron down the board. Stops it for Hamilton. Hamilton around into the corner. Bergeron scrapes it. Keep it going to Smith. Smith along the line to Hamilton to Spooner on the half boards. Bergeron's the man in the high slot. Here's Smith. Looking for Hamilton. Grabner's got explosive speed. He knocked the puck sideways, but now he approaches. Fakes the shot. Leg save. Rebound. Grabner can't complete the wraparound, and Smith seals him off. Just 5 seconds to go, and Tavares' penalty. Soderberg stick handles to the corner, finds Hamilton in front. Spooner had his hand in the air. He thought it was in, but it's off the post and out. Tavares fresh out of the box. The crowd roaring. Okposo jumping up. Bartkowski pokes the puck away. Tavares finds it again. Comes right in front, and Hamilton down on one knee. Slaps the puck away. Martinez wrist shot. The tip by Okposo and a save by Johnson. Tavares facing the goal. Spooner knocks it off his stick.
Kelly had the last chance, Jack, on that near side post. He tried to pull it out on his backhand and slip it into the empty net.
Vanek hits the brakes, bounces it slot. The puck caroming around. Okposo on the short radius turn. Tavares, one-man cycle. Donovan's blast goes sailing wide, glove side. Sean Thornton with 12 and a half to go in the game. Cross ice pass. It's behind Marchand. Pullen will play it. No icing. Martinez loses to Marchand up the slot, but there's Brock Nelson. Nelson has Clutterbuck accelerating ahead of him. Throws it into the right wing corner. McQuaid loads up for a big hit on Clutterbuck, and they bang hard. And now we get a stoppage of play. And McQuaid and Clutterbuck. Oh, McQuaid just knocks Clutterbuck's hat right off. We'll pick up the laundry and sort it out when this game resumes.
I was looking for their second power play goal tonight. Trailing by 2 here in the third period. Iginla with a nice move to the front of the net. Krug with good vision sees Chara off that far post. Just miss. Next power play unit on the ice. Great pass from Soderberg to Hamilton walking in. Spooner can't finish off the pass. Kelly had a chance at the tail end, and McQuaid and Clutterbuck get locked up behind the goal line. The Bruins defensive zone, exchange pleasantries, and they'll both go to the box.
Just offering each other the nightly discount on the facial massage. 12:01 to go in the game. It has been a contrast of styles here. And the Islanders have gotten it to go more their way. By keeping their feet moving, they've won a lot of puck battles. The Bruins have gotten a late wake-up call, but is it going to be too little, too late? Down 2 with 12 to go. Franz Nielsen, Michael Grabner, Travis Hamonic, Andrew McDonald with the matching minors for roughing. 4-on-4. Hamonic's hard wrist shot goes wide. Grabner very quick. Brings it up the half boards. Turns right toward the middle. Gives it to Hamonic. Uses the screen. And Krejci blocks the puck to the wall. Hamonic off Krejci's legs for the second time in a few seconds. Here's Lucic behind Grabner. McDonald one-hands it around. Lucic to Krejci back in the zone. Hamonic knocks the puck away with a good stick check. McDonald ahead to Nielsen, back into his own zone. Hamonic draws Krejci and Lucic. McDonald leaves the puck for Nielsen. Bergeron fresh off the Boston bench. Facing him, here's Tavares dangling on Krug. Hamonic's drive, and it deflects wide. McDonald under pressure from Bergeron. McDonald bounces the pass past Tavares. He whips it past Krug, tries to angle. Tavares' shot. No hole on the short side. McKinley working against Thomas Hickey. Hickey gets leverage. The puck goes loose. Bergeron tearing away from Donovan. Back of the goal. Leaves it for McKinley in the short cycle. McKinley shielding from Hickey. Finds Seidenberg. Seidenberg's shot. Bergeron creating net front traffic. McKinley can't tap it through to Bergeron. Seidenberg keeps it alive against Hickey. Hickey shields the puck and gives it to Donovan.
Yeah, good shot by Seidenberg. He had the vision to see that Bergeron was getting into that slot area looking for the redirect.
Donovan holding the puck. Spins away from Spooner. Hickey taking Regan's pass, but right into the chest is Seidenberg. Now Spooner on the quick turn. The shot saved. Juicy rebound. Nobody there but Thomas Vanek. Vanek ahead behind Regan. It goes all the way in on Chad Johnson. Long rebound just away from Clutterbuck, who's fresh out of the box. Bartkowski can't slop it along. Here's Clutterbuck. 2 chances. And Chad Johnson keeps the Bruins alive. Down 3 in the final 10 minutes. That would be a mighty tough task. Jets, thanks. 9:44 remaining in this one. It's the Campbell line against the Cizikas line. And we've seen it go both ways in this game. Chara controls the puck. A long saucer pass for Thornton. Pivoting at the line. Alex Paille sealing it off for Campbell. Goes right toward the post. The puck bounces up. Harpner off the corner boards. Thornton far side. Nelson stabs the puck ahead. McQuaid on a long diagonal skate with Matt Martin right in his face. Paille comes behind the line to keep the puck in Boston's possession. Campbell under pressure from Brock Nelson. Has to throw it near side. McQuaid to Paille. Cizikas is on him. And it's a long delayed offside.
Tonight, following Bruins coverage, catch up with Leah and Gary for NESN Sports Today, presented by People's United Bank. They'll have more on the Bruins, a recap of today's Red Sox Duck Boat Parade, and a preview of the Steelers and Patriots. Check it all out tonight after post-game coverage.
Plenty of Boston fans in the building, but the Islanders have gotten the best of them tonight. Thomas Vanek with a goal and an assist. Travis Hamonic and Kyle Oposo each with 2 assists. David Krejci off of the legs of Andrew McDonald. Nielsen to Bailey. Bouchard out in front of the rush. Nielsen gains the line against Hamilton. Risks it on Johnson. He sticks it to the corner glass. Lucic trickles it back for Chara. Hamilton starts it out right side into the middle. Krejci, a little bit late reaction to the pass was offline. That's going to be hybrid icing against the Bruins.
Bruins just not in sync as far as the defense and the forwards. You know, and that chemistry that you have to have. Bruins forwards not doing enough to get open. They're not getting low enough. They're not generating enough speed. They're not making themselves available as well as they can for the D. And then the D are making some decisions with the puck where there's a little drag or they're passing it to the wrong guy and the execution isn't where it needs to be. And being a former forward, Jack, I look to the forwards to get themselves a little deeper, a little lower, to generate some speed coming up the ice.
McKinley gains the line, tries to send it through to Krejci. Krejci comes out of the corner after the collision with Hamonic. Hamilton's one-timer off Hamonic's body. Hamilton tries to clean it out across the blue line. Now Lucic locks up with Hamonic. They had a terrific collision in the first period. Vanek on the off wing, dangles on Hamilton, and a save by Johnson, denying Thomas Vanek a spotlight goal.
Well, we saw Tavares just dance around Krug a couple of shifts ago. And now you're going to see a nice little hesitation, curl and drag, outside move by Thomas Vanek against Dougie Hamilton. Young defenseman, NHL level, love their mobility, love their offensive instincts. But both guys beat cleanly in one-on-one situations here in the third period.
It is the hardest position to play in all of sports. Defenseman in the National Hockey League. It takes so long to learn the position. And even the great ones have their bad moments. Regan battles Smith. Grabner. Bartkowski a little bit of a shift. Hartner off the board, or rather Grabner off the boards. Marchand protects the puck, but Bergeron can't advance it. Seidenberg. Martin picks it off at his own line. Cizikas with Nelson going ahead. The pass just under Nelson's backhand. Bartkowski steers Nelson to the end boards. Marchand takes the puck in the corner. Cizikas spins him around. Here's Nelson. Bartkowski disrupting it. Martin turns and whips it on goal. And Chad Johnson makes another stop. The Islanders have carried the play. Bergeron center circle, and Martin with back pressure takes it away. The Bruins getting fed some of their own medicine.
No, I'm not going to take anything away from the effort by the Islanders, particularly the way the fact that they had to play last night in Ottawa. But the Bruins are making it easy on them.
Smith, the spooner, had to reach back for the pass. Nielsen battles through Soderberg, goes right around Krug, centers for Bailey, the shot and a save. Bouchard back to Hamonic. The drive goes off the lively glass. The long bounce for Kelly. Kelly sprays the puck off the boards and gets it in deep. Soderberg misses the check on McDonald. He sends it straight ahead for Nielsen. Short pass to Hamonic. Now to Bailey. Now to, with Bouchard on his left. Bailey over the line. Spooner locks down on Bailey. Kelly takes the puck. Indirect for Soderberg. He makes the turn. Soderberg closes, stick handles, middle, turns to the forehand, throws it past Spooner's reach. Chara going in deep, into the crease, head pull and covers for a face-off.
Tough non-call. Kelly trying to make that a 2-on-1. Was absolutely hooked and interfered with. It's a nice play, indirect pass off the boards into center ice to Soderberg by Kelly. Kelly beats his man up the ice. And as he's trying to drive to the net, that back check by Hamonic, just right around him with the stick. And they called Tavares for a one-handed hooking penalty. They gave him an extra 2 for barking because it was a bad call. And that's a lot of stick work right there by Hamonic on a back check on a scoring opportunity, no call.
That's the makeup right there. Tavares's wasn't, Hamonic's was. The minutes balance out, I guess. McKinley, the shot saved by Pullen. McKinley probably not shooting for goal, but to get a rebound, and Pullen found it first.
Tuesday night at 6:30, catch up with Dale and Barry when WB Mason presents Bruins Face Off Live. They'll preview the matchup with Tyler Seguin and the Stars, hear from Tyler about returning to Boston, and have a Bruins executive live on set. All that more Tuesday at 6:30.
Tyler Seguin helped Dallas gain a point last night with a late third period goal. They ended up losing on a beauty by Stastny overtime. Colorado keeps its magical season-opening run going. Grabner doesn't get anything on the pass. Hamilton spanks it out to center. Regan throws it back into Hamilton's skates. Hamilton off Lucic's boot, but bounces down into the corner to Pullen's right. Lucic steals the pass on the boards. Chara comes in, sends Clutterbuck backwards, and then punches him right in the head. And he's going to go for a roughing. Bruins will be shorthanded for 2 minutes with 5.5 to go in the game, down 2. A look at the hard hits of tonight's game, brought to you by Timberland Pro. Cal Clutterbuck making his presence known all over the ice. Casey Cizikas, a high-energy guy for the Islanders as well. And there's Clutterbuck launching against Bergeron. Marchand got it going in the third period early. But the most recent physical confrontation between Clutterbuck and Chara resulted in Chara popping his top and trying to knock Clutterbuck's head off. He goes for 2 minutes for roughing. A chance for the Islanders to try to put a lid on this with a power play goal here. Andrew McDonald to John Tavares to Franz Nielsen. Nielsen glides over the line. The blast way wide on the glove side. And the Bruins can't capitalize on what amounts to a 190-foot rebound. The Islanders certainly want to score on this, but they absolutely do not want to give up a shorthanded goal. Marchand takes the gift. Paille nudges to Marchand against McDonald. Cuts to the inside. Marchand can't make the turn with the puck under control. Tavares. Back to McDonald. Gains the line and then loops the backhand into Barkowski's corner. Barkowski turns to Pozo. Bergeron gloves down the puck and sends it the length of the ring.
Yeah, Bruins just went full across at the defensive blue line. Even though McDonald stepped into the offensive end, he had no play.
3/4 of a minute to go on the power play for the Islanders. Donovan can't get a clean pass through. Here's Iginla with Kelly. Iginla tries to self-pass. Donovan gets a piece of it. Iginla holds, goes through the legs. Kelly on the short cycle has Hamilton at the point, but can't get the puck back to him. Donovan goes wing to wing. Clutterbuck closing on Barkowski. Barkowski engages and shoves him right into the end board. Right into the crease. Kelly finds it and whips the puck the length of the ice. 10 seconds to go in Chara's penalty. Peter Regan in a battle with Adam McQuaid. Donovan slaps it into the Boston zone. The Islanders change out. 0 shots on goal during a cautious power play for the Isles. 3.5 to go in the game. David Krejci over the line, crisscrosses behind Lucic, holds the puck. Seidenberg, the one-touch pass to McQuaid. The drive into the body of Cartner. The Isles can't clear. McQuaid into the corner. Krejci comes to the half boards, holds it. McQuaid alone at the top. Seidenberg rotating down the right half boards. McQuaid shot off Martin to the corner. Krejci to McQuaid, has to stab at it. Krejci's shot goes wide on the glove side as he got the batted puck from an Islander, and it fell right at his skates. Seidenberg fakes a shot. McQuaid's drive off Martin, his second block in this sequence. Lucic can't keep the puck under control. Cartner to Martin, but Krug intercepts at the Boston line. Krejci's pass too far forward for Riley Smith. The Isles clear. Krug hits the brakes on Tavares, goes right toward the line, but Smith can't keep possession.
Good offensive zone time by the Bruins in the Krejci line. They set up McQuaid for 3 shots at that left point, all 3 blocked.
McDonald against Bergeron.
And then the best opportunity they had was David Krejci from the slot, missed left side, wide of the net.
Soderberg bats it out of the air, tries to settle the puck. He can't get it to sit down for him. Soderberg throws it off. Vanek skates in front. Opozo off the boards and rolls it on edge into the Boston zone with 2:10 to go in the game. Torrey Krug absorbs a Bailey hit, but then it's knocked off balance. Soderberg lifts the puck down to the corner. Bergeron hits Cartner. Cartner sweeps the puck off Marchand's stick. Cartner chucks the backhand off the boards. Bouchard, the soft pass to Nielsen, working 1 against 2. Nielsen turns Barkowski, can't get the shot through his stick. 1:40 to go. Chad Johnson breaks to the Boston bench. The Bruins down 2, desperate to get back in this one, and they'll have an attacking zone faceoff as Poulin deflects the long drive into the protective netting. The Audi Performance Play brought to you by your local New England Audi dealers. Experience Audi Quattro all-wheel drive today. Opozo to a clinical finish. Thomas Vanek hammering the puck. Top shelf. No chance for Chad Johnson. And by the way, that was a 2-on-1 against Zdeno Chara. Pretty well executed. Opozo, as you said, Brick, showing the shot. So Chara had to play in that direction. And then a perfect finish from Vanek.
Yeah, he sold the shot, opens up a passing lane to Vanek. Vanek, a Bruins nemesis his entire career. 500th point.
Against who else? Of course, against the Bruins. Seems like half of them have come against him.
And the worst thing about the goal, Jack, was the timing of it. The Bruins just got a power play goal from Dougie Hamilton to make it 2-1, but then they got over-aggressive in the offensive zone and allowed yet another 2-on-1 for the Islanders in that second period, and Vanek finishes it off.
41 seconds apart, the two goals. First by Hamilton to get Boston on the board, but then the 3-1 goal for the Islanders. And there are a lot of black and gold dressed fans walking to the exits. Even though the Bruins have 6 skaters, the Islanders 5 with a minute and a half to go. Bergeron, Lucic, McGinley, Chara, Krug, and Krejci. Krug's one-timer saved, Poulin the rebound, Lucic saved by Poulin.
Well, Bergeron just continues to impress in the face-off circle, wins this draw clean. They set up Krug for the quick release shot. That's the first opportunity. The rebound's there. Chara keeps it alive. Lucic on the backhand. Poulin gets that one as well. So they tried Tavares against Bergeron, and they'll take him off and try Nielsen.
And Bergeron wins that one to Lucic. But Hamonic has the puck in the corner. Lucic gloves it down on the boards. Can't get it through. Hamonic, Grabner clears the puck. He's got tremendous speed. Beats Krug. Krug gets a piece of the puck. Grabner had it on goal, but Iginla saves one. Here comes Krejci with a minute 10 left. Into the skates of Hamonic. Chara on the end board. Slips it back to Lucic. Around the wall. Krejci to Iginla. He's got Bergeron nearby. Final minute of the game. Krejci, top of the circle. Bergeron. The wrist shot. Saved by Poulin. The save of the game brought to you by Digital Federal Credit Union. What can DCU save you? First period, 0-0. David Krejci getting the return from Jerome Iginla and Dougie Hamilton. And Poulin puts the right pad down. Kevin Poulin has been sharp. 0-2 on the season coming into this game with just an .881 save percentage. But he has been pretty solid tonight. Seidenberg to Hamilton, the wrist shot going wide. Marchand can't get there before McDonald does. 45 seconds left in the game. Vanek looking for the coup de grace into Hamilton's legs. Seidenberg to Hamilton, past the red line to Marchand to the off wing against McDonald. Seidenberg, the slap pass, low spooner to Kelly, fans Hamilton's drive, saved by Poulin with 23.5 seconds to go.
Well, nice play by Brad Marchand, stretch forward. Got to get that puck up quick in this situation, down by a pair, under 30 seconds to go. He's able to step into the offensive zone, look off all the traffic, that back diagonal to the point. The Bruins working around into that slot area. And then back to Hamilton again for a high drive that Poulin not only saves, but doesn't allow a second chance opportunity.
Bergeron and Regan on the faceoff. Bergeron wins another one. Lucic for Krejci in the slot. He turns and fires it, hits the legs. Andrew McDonald can't clear the zone. And Kimmel looking for Chara. McDonald fires for the empty net. He misses it wide. Icing, but just 9.5 seconds to go and 2 goals down. The Islanders go back-to-back, and they are going to get a well-deserved victory. Yeah, Boston could have been a lot better in this game, but the Islanders brought superb energy.
Well, the urgency that you're seeing from this Bruins team right now is what you got to look for on a more consistent basis before you put yourself in this down 2-goal spot.
The Bruins were 8-1-1 in their last 10 games in this building, and they had won 3 in a row. But the Islanders were the better team tonight. 3-1 in the final. There's some happy Islanders, and even though it's a short flight, it's going to be a long trip home, Dale.
Yeah, I got a feeling it's going to be a long and owly trip home, Jack. Coming up on Ace Ticket Bruins Overtime Live, Claude Julien will go one-on-one with Jamie Erdahl. We don't envy her that. Dressing room reaction from the Bruins as they lose to the New York Islanders. And we'll preview Tuesday's game here at the TD Garden against Tyler Seguin and the Dallas Stars. Ace Ticket Bruins Overtime Live is coming right up.